The commitments on trade in services and investment in the UK-Vietnam Free Trade Agreement, or the UKVFTA, are expected to forge a mutually open business environment for both Vietnamese and UK firms. In order to help businesses to have a correct and comprehensive understanding as well as utilize these commitments effectively, in this video, we will explain how to read and understand the commitments on trade in services and investment in the UKVFTA. Trade in services in the UKVFTA refers to commercial exchange activities in the services sector in the form of cross-border supply as Mode 1 or consumption abroad as Mode 2, but not Mode 3, commercial presence, and Mode 4, movement of natural persons, as seen in WTO and FTAs within the framework of ASEAN and ASEAN Plus. Meanwhile, investment in the UKVFTA includes trade in services through commercial presence as Mode 3 and investment in the non-services sectors. This is a key in learning how to read and understand the schedule of specific commitments on trade in services and investment in the UKVFTA. Next, we will learn about the structure of the schedule. For the UK, the schedule of specific commitments on trade in services is listed in Appendix 8A1. The schedule of specific commitments on investment is listed in Appendix 8A2. For Vietnam, the schedule of specific commitments on trade in services is listed in Section A of Appendix 8B1. The schedule of specific commitments on investment is listed in Section B of Appendix 8B1. The schedule of specific commitments on the movement of natural persons is listed in Appendix 8B2. In addition, to understand the overall commitments of Vietnam in the services and non-services sectors, attention needs to be paid in Annex 8C, which lists the exemption to the natural treatment obligations for Vietnam in specific sectors. Next, the Section A of Appendix 8B1 is the schedule of specific commitments on trade in services, consisting of three parts as follows. A note explaining the structure of the schedule. Horizontal commitments comprise of regulations that are generally applicable to all services sectors and subsectors listed in the schedule. Specific commitments list limitations applicable to each service sector and subsector listed in the schedule. When learning about the service sector and subsector of interest, you need to read the contents of all three parts to clearly and fully identify the limitations maintained in the schedule for that services sector and subsector. The schedule of specific commitments on trade in services has 4 columns, similar to its structure in the WTO, including Column 1. Describe the sector and subsector. List the name and code of the services sector or subsector included in the commitment. Column 2. Market access limitations. List the market access limitations that Vietnam applies to UK services and service suppliers. Column 3. National treatment limitations. Record measures adopted by Vietnam that are discriminatory between Vietnam and UK services and service suppliers. Column 4. Additional commitments. Listing measures that are not limitations on market access or national treatment. The Section B of Appendix 8B1 is a schedule of specific commitments on investment. It lists the commitments in the non-services sector, consisting of 2 parts as follows. A note explaining the structure of the schedule. Specific commitments list limitations applicable to non-services sector in the schedule. The schedule of specific commitments on investment has 2 columns, including Column 1. Description of non-services sector and subsectors. List of non-services sectors and subsectors to which Vietnam is committed. Column 2. Description of reservation. List reservation limitations applicable to non-services sectors and subsectors in the schedule. Here, there are some complicated issues to be noted as follows. Note 1. The schedule of specific commitments on trade in services and investment uses a mixed positive list and negative list approach, similar to its approach in the WTO. The positive list approach is applied to sectors and subsectors column. Under this approach, Vietnam will commit only to those sectors and subsectors listed in this column. Sectors and subsectors not listed are not committed. The negative list approach is applied to the remaining columns. Under this approach, Vietnam will list all the limitations it adopts or maintains for the sectors and subsectors mentioned in the schedule. Not listing means not maintaining the restriction. Thus, when searching, if you encounter a certain services or non-services sector with CPC or ISIC code, you can use this code to look up how such sector is categorized or classified. Then, if you want to know whether that sector or subsector is committed and if there's any limitation applied to it, you need to look up the content listed in all columns of the schedule, followed by looking up the content listed in the horizontal commitment section. Note 2. In the UKVFTA, the Mode 3 services as commercial presence will be covered by obligations of investment, which is understood as an investment on services sector. Investment also includes investments in the non-services sector and subsectors. Therefore, these obligations include market access, national treatment, most favored nation treatment, and performance requirements. The others, Mode 1 and Mode 2 services, are covered by obligations in trade in services. These obligations include market access and national treatment. Note 3. For schedule of specific commitments on trade in services, market access limitations are listed in column 2, national treatment limitations column 3, while other limitations, if any, are listed in column 4, named as additional commitments column. For schedule of specific commitments on investment, all limitations on market access, national treatment, most favored nation, and performance requirements are listed in column 2, named as description of reservations column. The schedule of specific commitments on trade in services and investment has the same approach with 3 levels of commitment for services and non-services sectors and subsectors as follows. Full commitment, expressed in text as none. Partial commitment, expressed in text as such as non-accept or unbound accept, or list of specific limitation. Unbound, expressed in text as unbound. In this video, we have just walked through on how to read and understand commitments on trade in services and investment in the UKVFTA. Thank you very much and see you in the next clips on the UKVFTA.